I have to say I really enjoyed the past month of my life. I got to try Diablo 4 twice, mega fun. I got to play a little bit of Aeon Classic, huge dose of nostalgia from there. In a way, I feel like such a cheat. I haven't done a single Chaos Dungeon in Lost Ark for like weeks now. However, if you're a person like myself who only sticks to one game for years upon years, it's really refreshing to see how other people are having fun and what other people are doing with their time on the PC. Today we're gonna talk about Diablo 4. I did no life it. I even got called out on Discord for it. I had a few days of literally 16 to 17 hours of just Diablo 4, and I want to share my thoughts at the end of this beta and going into release in just a couple of weeks from now. Yes, I'm new to Diablo, new to ARPGs, not new to MMORPGs, and a veteran Lost Ark player, so I have my own thoughts coming from a new player's perspective, I suppose. The server slam test only allowed us to get up to level 20, which is a fifth of where you would need to be to fully discover a class, gear, content, etc. And so my interpretation of how things feel might be skewed or subject to pre-launch changes. Loved trying several classes, let's just get that out of the way, right? So the old syndrome kind of carries over from Lost Ark to Diablo 4. Loved the intensive farm where you go dungeon after dungeon after dungeon and actually be rewarded with the chance at the best gear currently possible. Regardless of your dungeon choice. So all of these things are just so many little pluses that I found. The drop rates are great too. They have been nerfed from the previous Diablo 4 beta which I played to a point where now it actually feels very rewarding to see a legendary drop on the ground, and I think this is a really good middle ground to continue on with. Really enjoyed the fact that all dungeons scale with you, so you can literally play your favorite one or swap if you get bored. This is the first time I play a game with this kind of a system, even though I know it's present in others, and I found it like really super cool. Enjoyed the butcher challenge exactly when you get sleepy. That one really wakes you up. I also discovered the transmog or the skin system. So cool, not only because it's free but also because of the coolness of the items that you can get in game. Imagine being in 2023 and and playing a game where a lot of cool skins are obtainable from within the game by dismantling that item and just having the transmog to apply later on to a piece of gear. That for me is just absolutely mind-boggling, where in my past games for the last 15 years it was only like the paid stuff is the good stuff, and many of these games didn't even really have like a really cool transmog system to begin with. Really nice, very big thumbs up. I actually spend there in the transmog system about an hour. I don't care about skins, by the way, just saying. I don't care how my character looks. It just doesn't faze me at all. However, here it was so nice to look at all of the cool designs that you can apply to your character and all of the interesting things that are sort of like class specific. Like a necro can have like a sort of like a skeleton look, same as your minions, and then a druid can have like a wolf hat. Really cool, very well done, very well done. And I know I'm getting excited for all sorts of stupid things like resetting your dungeons, being able to do your favorite one because it scales, or the cosmetics. But to me, all of these are new. I didn't have them in the games that I've played so far, or they were done in a very different way, and because of that it's super refreshing to actually see it. Another super refreshing thing is the real money aspect of Diablo 4. As much as we know so far, they don't intend on having microtransactions in the game that allow you to buy power, such as, I don't know, buying gold or buying all sorts of gems that you can socket on your gear. These kinds of things, you're gonna have to farm them yourself. And also the battle pass that they're gonna have, and they talked about it openly. The power gain aspect of the battle pass is only in the free track. Imagine having a battle pass in 2023 where the only way you get power is from the free track, and then the paid tracks are more of those really awesome skins I talked about. Again, maybe this is just me. If you are a player that comes from Dota to Diablo, you might think that this guy is crazy, but actually I've only been playing games that have the option to buy power. So seeing something else for me is very exciting. In terms of difficulty, I felt the game is relatively easy up until level 20, so that's fantastic for the casual players. And generally speaking, the leveling up process should never be hard. In the last 2 hours of the beta, I asked one of the veteran content creators for Diablo, his name is Rax, what would be a hard thing to do in the game right now, and he recommended an event that was 10 levels higher. So I went there, I soloed the whole thing on my Necro, and almost killed the final boss. These attempts at killing that last boss, or generally speaking at the harder content, were the best 2 hours of my beta experience. I also tried to solo the world boss called Ashava that was available during this beta. However, I never was able to be in a channel where there weren't already like 10 people there, so that kind of failed. I would hope that at endgame the casual content will persist, but in parallel there will be some sort of repeatable challenging things that are rewarding. It doesn't have to be mobs hitting harder or insane mechanics, but preferably a combination of you farming gear plus an interesting build plus a harder boss equals you're better than someone else, right? Something in those lines. On the difficulty note, I loved having ults because of the resources my main had already gathered that allowed me for a faster gearing up process very early on. I could exchange some tokens for some loot if I wanted to, but more importantly, the 2 extra skill points that my main had already earned from farming renown in various zones, and then all of my subsequent characters, they just got more skill points to begin with. I thought I'm having so much fun on my second, third, fourth character than I had on my first one. And speaking of alts and playing other classes, right up my alley to play many, right? I come from 20 something characters in Lost Ark, so here it was quite straightforward. I had a druid to begin with because I'm madly in love with the druid aesthetics and the idea of the class. However, this time I wanted to try other classes as well. I had a necro, we had a barbarian, we had a rogue that I could play, so it was a really cool experience. And I felt so bad that I cannot get my druid with the legendary aspects that I wanted, and to end game to finally explore the potential of the class that I think it has, and to see if I'm right or wrong. Every time I played my necro, I felt a little bit more fun than when I played my druid at this low level starting stage. Every time I played my barbarian, I thought, man, it's a little bit more badass than the druid. The rogue, man, so cool single target damage I have. So I'm very excited for the launch of Diablo, so I can take the druid to the place where I want it to be and see what are the possibilities there. I really believe that every single class should be fun as you level up. Every single class should feel really cool and powerful, maybe even overpowered, because pro players, they don't care about the leveling up process. They only think about the end game, and they might even know that, hey, with this set of items, then that class becomes OP and this class is not so good, or maybe this class is good now and bad later. However, it doesn't matter for me as a new player. I want any class that I try in a new game to feel really cool in the first 20, 40 levels of my experience in that game. I also wanted to mention something that the devs have confirmed during their latest podcast, is that there's not going to be any leaderboards for season 1 and 2. So that's the first 7.5 months of the game. But me personally, I'm very, very, very much looking forward to having leaderboards. I might be a little bit ignorant here, but I actually cannot understand why you would play a season in an ARPG and start your characters from scratch, etc. That doesn't have some form of competition during that seasonal play. One of the main selling points, at least to me, is to directly compete with other builds and players every 3 months in a fair environment, and to have a board that shows that you and your build and class are just simply better. I feel that with no leaderboards, it's less of an ARPG and more of an MMORPG, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but then you would have to, you need that feeling of showing off, right? That you're somehow better than other person. And in that case, you would resort to, I don't know, being able to finish a set dungeon or having a full set of that gear, and when people inspect you they see, oh, that guy's badass. Maybe when we discover the end game more, we're gonna figure this out, how can you be the one in Diablo 4. That's actually my question. They also said that starting with season 3, they might bring leaderboards over, something to just look forward to. And speaking about ARPGs, MMORPGs, I feel like this is a good segue to mention that after playing Lost Ark for so long, which is an MMORPG with just the ARPG type camera angle, I feel right at home in Diablo 4. This is not necessarily a good thing, but I guess it's not a bad thing either, if it's gonna work and satisfy both sides, right? The RPG players and RPG players. Diablo 4 really feels like it's trying to bridge a gap in between the two genres with more than just the camera view, and that's, I guess, nice. I really did enjoy the open world events where some other players can pitch in. It reminds me a lot of Guild Wars 2. I found the pacing and rewards really nice. I enjoyed the story quest and the cutscenes, but I did not enjoy, for example, the boss fights at the end of these low-level dungeons. I found them to be quite a snooze fest with very little things that you need to do. I could just basically stand still there, trying to get the HP down of a particular boss, and it felt I felt a little bit disconnected from what I was doing before that, as in, you know, trying to be fast-paced, killing packs of mobs, doing my objectives, and then sit there in that room for a longer period of time to get the HP to 0. And on top of that, the loot from these bosses did not seem to be anyhow better than what I could get from my skull mobs, the elites, the chests along the way. So because of that, I didn't feel very motivated to always kill the last boss in a dungeon, which is a little bit strange. And lastly, a couple of things that I felt I really wanted to have during my gameplay was a map overlay, like a mini map overlay in the center of your screens or somewhere placeable on your screen, so that you wouldn't have. I found myself opening the big maps so often that the keybind for it is just my new favorite keybind right now. So I think that it's a nice choice to give to players. I know that they've said they wanted to create a form of immersion for the players to really discover the world and the dungeons, the maps by themselves. That's an interesting feeling, but you know, forcing immersion just creates a little bit more hassle for me to just open the big map to see like where I'm going. I want to discover the game by looking at the map also to see exactly what am I discovering, and then later on I'm going to learn it by heart, but that's my choice, not the developer's choice in that sense. I would also like some sort of I don't know, the dungeon reset button from the first beta was absolutely golden. I love that button so much. Coming from regular MMORPGs where you have a set of very harsh cooldowns for your content, but that's just to keep a ceiling on top of people. Then going to an ARPG which I expect to just go boom, 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 and just kill for like 14 hours in a row. I'm just like killing, finding the butcher, killing the butcher. You know, so I want to be like hyper in an ARPG. I want to really just like farm, right? And if I want to do the story. I want to do an event, but that's because I want to. Now in this beta, the dungeons had a 60-second cooldown, assuming you finished the last boss of the dungeon, and a 2.5-minute cooldown, assuming you didn't finish the last boss of the dungeon. So because of that, those 60 seconds, even those felt like so long. It was like an eternity when I'm in a grinding mood. I just want to do, and then I just have to wait there. So I sometimes did an event in between my dungeons, but I would really like some sort of either a dungeon reset button. I don't think it's harmful, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to, you know, just ruin the game with my opinions. But yeah, some form of teleport, like a saved teleport location to another dungeon or to a couple of places in the world. Like I finished this dungeon, I need to wait 60 seconds, no problem, fast TP to the other one where I have a saved spot, do that one. Sure, it takes longer, but at least I'm doing dungeons, right? So these were the two things that I sort of kind of missed. Having that said, I thank you so much for watching this video. I was very happy to have been part of the Diablo beta so far. 100% worth pre-ordering. Even if you pre-order it to play through the story, get to the end game, and then just leave and take it like a one-time only game, like The Witcher or whatever. The story is really cool. The cutscenes are really cool. You know, the combat is nice as you progress through the story, and obviously, hopefully, I'm having high hopes that the end game content in in Diablo 4 will be something very catchy to ARPG players, especially. I really hope they're gonna like it because they are the ones who have to like this. But also the MMORPG players, because it's kind of a bridge in between the two games, and I really hope their plan is gonna succeed. Until my next video, I thank you so much for watching this one. I'm gonna see you either on my live streams over on twitch.tv/SaivoSan or here on my YouTube channel. Again, thanks for watching and see you really soon. Bye bye.